Everything's bigger in Texas. Most of the time, that's just something people say before they hand you a chicken fried steak the size of a hubcap. But every once in a while, Texas backs it up. This is one of those times. Rhode Island is a state. It has a governor, 2 senators, traffic laws, license plates, and its own official spot on the map. There is a ranch in South Texas bigger than the whole thing. Not a little bigger. The King Ranch covers 825,000 acres, spreads across 6 Texas counties, and if you tried to walk across it, you wouldn't pack a lunch. You'd file an itinerary. This is the story of the King Ranch and the runaway stowaway who built an empire out of a patch of desert nobody else wanted. In 1852, a man named Richard King rode through a stretch of South Texas known unofficially as the Wild Horse Desert. It was hot, it was dry, and by most accounts, it was a terrible place to try to build anything. King looked at it and thought, perfect. Richard King wasn't from Texas. He was from New York. At 11, he escaped an abusive indenture by stowing away on a ship out of Manhattan. He never really left the water again. By his early 20s, he was captaining steamboats on the Rio Grande. Years on the river taught him something most people never think about. Control the water, and you control everything around it. He had spent his career reading rivers, ports, cargo, and people for a living, and this stretch of South Texas had what mattered most: water. The land itself looked like nothing: brush, heat, thorns, and a personal guarantee of sunburn. But wild cattle roamed nearby. Santa had, through this creek, offered one of the few reliable water sources for miles. And in the years after the Mexican-American War, old Spanish and Mexican land grants in South Texas could be complicated, disputed, and cheap. King wasn't buying a desert. He was buying the part of the desert that made the rest of it usable. In 1853, he bought his first 15,500 acres. The price? $300. Today, that won't buy you a decent used riding mower. In 1854, a drought hit South Texas and northern Mexico. Cattle were dying by the thousands. King rode down to the town of Cruillas, Mexico, and made the townspeople a hard offer. Sell him the herd before the drought finished it off. They agreed. Then King made a second offer. Come work the land in Texas, and he would provide food, shelter, and wages. Entire families relocated. Their descendants became known as the Kineños, King's people, and generations of Kineño families remained tied to the ranch. It was a tough time, and in that moment, the deal helped both sides. The people of Cruillas got food, work, wages, and a way through the drought. King got cattle, skilled vaqueros, loyal workers, and the foundation of a ranching empire. Everybody gained something. But the man with the money, the nerve, and the willingness to take the risk gained the most. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And Richard King ventured big. King kept buying. By the 1870s, he owned more than 600,000 acres. By the time he died of stomach cancer in 1885, he had left behind one of the largest privately owned pieces of land in the country, which is one way to avoid neighbors. But the ranch did not fall apart after him. His wife, Henrietta King, was a force. She took over and helped guide it for the next 40 years. Under her, King Ranch did not shrink into some old family story people argued about at Thanksgiving. It grew. At its peak, King Ranch passed 1 million acres. What? 1 million. At that point, you do not own a ranch. You own a weather system. Then, in the 1930s, oil turned up underneath it, which is a pretty good day at the office. Most ranchers hope to find water. King Ranch found Texas's other favorite liquid. A cattle ranch became one of the wealthiest private land holdings in Texas all over again. First, the land was valuable because cattle could live on it. Then it became valuable because Texas had hidden the good stuff underneath it. Very subtle, Texas. 6 generations later, it is still in the hands of Richard King's descendants. Richard King's rule was simple: buy land and don't let it get away. His family took that pretty seriously. Rhode Island has senators. King Ranch has fences. Make of that what you will.